topic is home office survival skills and marketing tips. And some of you might know I am in business with my husband Jason, who's in the Reese's peanut butter shirt tonight. And so basically what my role is in our business is I'm kind of like the behind the scenes gal at this point in our life, where if someone calls to book Jason, they're going to go through me, and I take care of all of the management side of our business. Even though somehow I get Jason to do the accounting, which is awesome. So, you know, you try to kind of see your skill sets and see who can do what and all that good stuff. So, so for the last 7 years, Jason and I have been doing this full time, and he does all the engagements, and I do all the back of the room, not back of the room, but behind the scenes kind of stuff. So I should also mention that we have a 3-year-old named Lucy, and a 3-month-old, as of today, Ben. And so that's kind of the other piece of this, because we are the primary caregivers for these 2 little ones. And so we manage them, and we manage ourselves, and it all happens under one roof, and hopefully at the end of the day we, you know, don't fall over exhausted. So anyone who, and I wanted to kind of get an idea of, raise your hands if you have kids. So balancing, it doesn't matter, because they're always around, so in some form or another. So that's, and not that you have to have kids to relate to what I'm going to talk about, but I kind of want to get an idea of how many people. So I put together this little top 10 list, like looks like Chris did a similar thing, but this is just kind of to keep my thoughts on track, because I am not the speaker, and my background in speaking is talking to 5-year-olds, because I used to teach kindergarten, so so it's a little bit different for what I'm used to doing, but
not all that much.
No, that's true. That's a good point. So the first thing I thought of when I was thinking of, you know, survival tips and marketing and all of that good stuff was this first point that I put on here. First things first. Basically, if you don't have your market figured out yet, you're going to be banging your head against the wall. So not that you shouldn't market and try things, but it took Jason and I a long time, maybe longer than most, to figure out who needs what we have to share. Like, what's your gift to the world, and who needs it? What problem are you solving? Who is sitting there going, if we could only find a speaker who could do this, this would be amazing, and you are their solution. So that took us probably, what, like 4 years, you know, to just keep trying things and keep talking to people and keep going to NSA meetings and picking people's brains and sitting down and just trying to figure out what markets are out there and where it connects, you know. So if you're on that journey, keep with it, because you can't really do any of the rest until you figure that out. So it's worth the efforts. So once you have that, and you know, not that you can't set up some of the frameworks as you figure that out, but creating a system for outbound marketing has been a huge piece to what I do in my day-to-day. And just to give you a little picture, I work about 15 hours a week. Jason works about 35 hours a week, give or take. And so a lot of people will come up to us and say, oh, well, if I had a you, this would be a lot easier, right? Well, we are one person. So we are a 50-hour work person, even though we have different skill sets, which I realize is an advantage. But so we're not putting in 80 hours collectively. We're putting in a decent 50-hour work week together, so that the hours that we're not working on our business are with our kids. So that's kind of how we framed it. So my system for outbound marketing is creating monthly, weekly goals of outbound marketing, whatever that is. And I think a lot of people will say, like, well, I don't like to smile and dial, you know, I don't like cold calls, I can't do it. It's like, that doesn't necessarily have to be how you market. So that's one of many, many ways. So it could be email marketing, could be LinkedIn, could be other social media stuff. It could be the smile dial. Matt Booth is like awesome at that. So it is a way to do it. Or snail mail, free speeches, networking groups. So again, when you know your market, that's going to help you know how to connect with them. Some people like it certain ways. And then make sure you have that database that Barb talked about. That's huge, you know. That's actually one of my other tips. So the shortcuts, setting up shortcuts, number 2. This is like the kind of stuff that keeps my 15 hours, that maximizes that. Because if I didn't have these shortcuts in place, basically I'd be just redoing the same work over and over. So in my email box currently, I have probably about 25 email signatures that I use, and they're the common replies that I get that I need to send out to people based on the questions they're sending me. So, you know, what's your fee, da 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 da. So I have like the answers all ready to go in these email signatures. I just pick whichever email signature I need, and it's ready to go. So we have to, you know. So it's like it just whatever you end up writing over and over again, make sure it's a SIG, and you're good to go. Personalize it, and they don't ever know the difference. Organize your email folders. So I have a folder for travel. I have a folder for publicity. I have a folder. So different things that come up, I can just drag it over, and when I'm going later to search for it, it makes it a little bit more easy. Conference call checklist. So when I'm the one that's on the phone calls to talk about the events and what is going to be happening. So I have a checklist. I like paper, so I just print that off, and then I can go through it and make sure that I not have to rethink everything I have to talk to them about to make sure all the bases are covered. Event management checklist. So I have, as soon as we book a gig, I have a checklist for that. So I put the name on the top, and then it's just what things, did I mail the book? Did I send them the publicity? When does the final invoice get sent? So it's all easy. PDF attachment ready to email. So, or PDF attachment of a W-9. Because if you're dealing with clients, they're going to be like, oh, I need your W-9 before I can invoice you. It's on my desktop. I just email it off, ready to go. Proposal template. So our contract is actually, our proposal serves as the same thing. So that's a template. So I just plug in all their information. Jason's signature's already on it, and it just gets emailed off, really quickly. High-res photos are online. Our pre-program questionnaire is a form online. So all this stuff, trying to keep it really smooth, and it's like from one event to the next, there's very little variance as far as the tools that you need. So as soon as you have it in place, it's ready to go. So I'm going to go real quick because Jason said I have 4 minutes left. So I don't have to read the rest. I wanted to explain the shortcuts because some of that stuff may not be as clear as some of the others. But batching tasks, like when I do invoicing, I do it all together. When I do copywriting, I do it all together. Outbound marketing, I try to group my things. Managing your database, I think I put down it when I was putting my notes, like your database is your child. It's like you need to create it and nurture it and prune it and make sure that it's backed up like a couple places and just grow it, because without that, your contacts, whether with your past clients or future clients, like if we lost ours, I would just cry, like forever. So it should be something that you're really, really honing in on. Travel tips, I'll skip that because that's pretty easy. So basically, the other stuff that that I wanted to mention is like with the balance part of having our home under the same roof as our business. We have a separate office space. It's like our whole lower level. We have like a split ranch, so it's kind of nice. It's like upstairs home, downstairs business. And not that you can't bring it one place or the other, because I mean, Lucy plays on my chair, she spins and everything else, and my laptop's on the kitchen counter a lot, so it doesn't have to be an equal balance. But I think the mindset of the harmony is huge, and where are you finding the harmony in all of it? And if it's stressful, then some people like to have their businesses outside their home, and that's actually an okay type of thing too. So the last thing I wanted to mention with the balance stuff is saying no, like tons. Jason and I, we thought, when Lucy was born, we're like, okay, we need to start saying no to a lot more things. And then we're like, okay, we need to say no to a lot more things, because all of a sudden your time is just invested in these little people, and that's where it should be. So it's just like pruning commitments and just saying like seasons of life is our big thing. It's like, this is not the season of life where we can volunteer for everything or we can be everything to everybody. And that's okay, and that'll change, and it'll look differently as time goes on. There's a zillion good things, so just because you've said yes to it doesn't mean it's bad. It's probably very good. And so just being able to say, like, is it the best right now? And giving yourself permission and being kind to yourself and saying, maybe it's not, for your balance. Less is more. Jason and I are really big on working hard and playing hard. So one of the greatest advantages of this industry is that people will pay you to fly to wonderful places. So that's one of the things we've decided to do as a family, is to buy the extra tickets and make memories along the way. So Lucy was on 34 flights in her first year. And it's like, we just went, you know? We're like, this is how it's going to be, because we want to be able to actually look back and not think, oh, you know, we just ran and ran and ran. It's like, no, we ran and then we went to Disney World that day, and we went to the beach that day, and, you know, the San Diego Zoo, and things like that. So bring your family with you if you can, because that's a good way to